flash : config.old. And just, okay, we'll name it config.leo. Let's do dir flash. That's it, right? See it? Config.leo. So now it's going to look like config.txt, but it's not going to see it.
So you have to copy it now, right?
It's going to give us, so we're just going to do this, boot. All right.
That's how you receive it, right?
Also, remember how I told you a switch can only talk to one network, right?
Yeah, what's inside the network.
When a switch can't boot like this, say like this thing can't boot because it's missing. This is the iOS, the interoperability.
It's supposed to be config.txt, right?
Whatever it is, the iOS, the operating system that is basically. Look at it like every Cisco iOS is just an overlay on Linux, and it technically is like a flavor of Linux. So each one.
I should learn Linux.
No, not really. Cisco is its own language. Cisco is entirely different from anything you ever learn.
If they kept all the commands same as DOS,
it is why Cisco has its own learning track. But if you're gonna go into networking, you will not make it if you know Juniper alone or you know Palo Alto. You can know every other.
We had Palo Alto before.
You can know every other networking subculture out there. If you don't know Cisco,
you're fucked.
Yeah.
And this shit's here to stay too for all the people whose network needs it. So even if you do other shit, you need.
See what it's doing here? That is a packaged iOS. It's a bin. It's exploding onto NVRAM. Cisco doesn't run on like typical Windows. Windows runs on a drive and then it grabs files as it needs them. Cisco, everything's there because when Cisco needs to, first in, first out, dude, it grabs a packet, gets it, labels it, does what it needs to, morphs it into what it needs to, throws it out.
It says non-volatile?
Non-NVRAM. All of it's NVRAM.
So it's saved. It's like a flash drive.
It's like a flash drive, yeah. Same thing.
I used to run the RAM disk when my hard drive died back in the days. I'm on 386.
When you look at Cisco devices, a Cisco device is only as good as its ASIC. Basically,
the CPU on each part?
Pretty much, right? I don't know much about ASICs or any of that development or any of that Fortran, that low-level bullshit, but I know that Cisco's, when I look at a Cisco and I see different backplanes, or I see a Nexus, I know there's a shitload of ASICs in there. There's a lot of computing power.
Those ASICs are...
If I want something fast, boom, it's there.
They're not ARM-based, right, those ASICs?
I don't know what the hell you mean by that. You probably know more about that than I do. I just know when I see an ASIC, when I see a Cisco Nexus, I know that, like on a Nexus, dude, you have like a let's say you have a 5K. A 5K has 6 different blocks on the front, right? Per block, there's probably 4 ASICs on the back, right? So that is fucking 1 ASIC per 4 ports, dude. That is a whole lot of computing power, dude. When that thing needs to transfer information, it's just there. It's fast, right? So then you have options to do fiber, 10 gig, 20 gig, 50 gig, 100 gig, right? 100 gig connections, fiber backplanes into storage. That's why Nexus is so powerful. They have all those ASICs. They just transfer information so fast.
What?
Huh? Nexus is like Cisco's Cadillac for high-end computing.
What is it doing right now?
This is the same thing. This is a post, a BIOS check.
Okay.
It's saying, okay, what do I got here? I got that stack master election. Remember I showed you this cable? This guy checking to see how many do I have here. It thinks this switch is part of a stack. Cool. We gotta break that off. We gotta stop that. We'll end that.
How do you end that?
So
we're gonna take it out of the run configuration.
You took. Okay.
It still thinks it's in a stack right now. So when it comes up, it may say I'm switch 5 because it was part of a 6-switch stack.
So with all the like,
see right here, what's it say here? We got a motherboard, we got model version, power supply.
This is resetting it to default, basically everything.
You see this? It says I got an SFP module, part number.
Is that what it came with, or what?
Nope.
No.
This is what it came with. It tells you right here. I have software version. This is the most used field on a Cisco switch if you want this information. What do I have? I got a WSC 3750 48 port. Basically, you have a WS series catalyst. Catalyst means I can route. That's the difference. It's the only difference. Catalyst and Cisco used to, back in the day, be a completely separate, different version of codes versus a router.
Or on Catalyst, the switch pretty much. They're called Catalyst 2800, Catalyst something.
Kind of. Catalyst, don't even, when they say Catalyst, just ignore them now because it meant something back in the day and it means nothing now because all switches are Catalyst now.
They're all like...
They all, because back in the day, Cisco had Catalyst and iOS. iOS was very...
iOS?
iOS is this. Catalyst was more like a switch that could do routing. So a lot of companies didn't want a router, or they had huge networks. They would have these stacked switches, 4500 series or 4Ks, out in a shed someplace that would do routing. Nothing, just forget what I just said. It's nothing you want to know. Look at so what do we got now? It's telling me what do I want to do, what do I want to do.
What the heck?
Cisco is notorious for this.
Are you just saying enter?
Does not let me do anything until I hit yes and no. So do I want to initial? You want to see initial configuration?
The mouse is on something.
Do you want to see it? We'll do yes. Initial config. It is the dummied down version. How do I want to set the switch up? So we'll go through this. This makes it a little easier. So do I want to do basic management?
Yes.
Yeah, makes it easier, right? So we can do it. This does make it a lot easier. What do you want to name the switch?
This,
This yours, so.
So it's all going to be related to. Don't put this on there.